Hello everyone, Nathan here, and over the past few days I've been playing some of my older games and realising that the graphics aren't quite as good as I remember. So I thought today I'd get some of the best looking games I own, crank up the settings, turn off the HUD, and see just how far gaming's come. So where else to start but with Battlefield 1. Say what you want about this game and how it plays, but you can't deny that it looks just incredible. DICE has managed to put out possibly the best looking game I've ever seen, and combined with the fantastic sound design, you get a truly immersive experience when you turn the HUD off. When there's nothing on your screen clogging up your view, you really start to notice the little details, like the mud that builds up on your gun if you go prone in certain areas, and the distinctive uniforms that have been added into the game so you can identify the enemy even without the little red icons above their heads. It's not the first time that DICE have managed to pull this off either. Battlefield 4 surpassed everything else when it came out, and Star Wars Battlefront, despite not being a very good game in a lot of people's eyes, showed off the potential of photogrammetry to amazing effect. Honestly, this game looks almost real. I mean, throw some black bars at the top and bottom of the screen, and this could be a movie. And I really don't know what they're going to do in the future to try and make their next games look even better than this, although I am sure they'll somehow find a way. Possibly some form of black magic, I mean, I don't know, and I'm not here to judge. Now, I should say that I was playing on normal servers here, not hardcore ones, so everyone else had their minimaps and other advantages over me, so it was a lot harder to finish top of the scoreboard. So maybe don't try this for yourself if you're worried about your KD and stuff like that, but if you're not bothered about things like that, I'd say go and try this for yourself. Next up, I wanted something to crush the old racing games I used to play like Tokka Racer, and I decided to go for a 2015 game in the form of Project Cars. I love this game because there's so many different ways to play, with loads of cars, tracks and conditions, all of which you can choose from and set differently, and when you get it going, it all adds up to look like a real race. For the most realistic experience, this game can be played in VR, but for me, I don't have that option at the moment, so I just set the camera angle to the cockpit view, and that was more than good enough, and I genuinely think if you put this footage side by side with a real racing video, I'd have to at least take a second look before being able to tell which was real and which was the game. Now, if I'm honest, I don't think that some of the less important assets in this game look that great, like members of the crowd and things like that are off in the distance. But with the speeds that you're whizzing by them at in the game, it's almost impossible to notice, and although there are plenty of car games that look great these days, this is my personal favourite. One thing I really did learn from playing Project Cars though, is that I should never be allowed to drive an F1 car. The final game I've picked is the only one that my PC couldn't max out at 1080, as it's not the best optimised, but I went with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now personally, I think games tend to look more realistic and immersive from a first person perspective, because the one thing that still regularly lets down games in my mind is the character models, and in third person games there's always a character model right in the centre of your view. But Rise of the Tomb Raider does quite a lot to dispel that theory. Not only do the environments that you find yourself in look great, and the weather effects are some of the most realistic I've seen, but in addition to that, Lara Croft herself looks like an actual person. Modern techniques such as hair effects make everything 10 times more believable, and the way that the frost sticks to her clothing and her shivering animations really make it feel like this is a real person experiencing real things. The cutscenes too look movie quality at times and really add to the story experience that the game offers. Now, something to remember with all these games is that graphics alone don't make a good game. You can have the most amazing graphics you've ever seen, but if there's not gameplay and story and all the other elements to back it up, it probably isn't going to end up being that good. Star Wars Battlefront, anyone? In fact, in most scenarios I'd take flat out bad graphics if the gameplay and story were compelling enough. What this does show though is that games look better than ever before, and in some cases games are nearing the stage of photorealism. Looking back at the games of the past compared to where we are now makes me excited to see what more games can do in the future. And although I don't think massive leaps forward like we've seen over the past 20 years are going to happen again, because games already look fantastic, I still think there's more to be done, and I still can't wait to see where we are 5, 10, 20 years from now, as I think it'll look amazing. So that's about it for today. If you enjoyed the video, I'd be very appreciative if you'd click that like button down below, it really helps me out. Enter the Gang Beasts giveaway, the link for that is in the description, and subscribe for more like this if you haven't already. I've been Nathan, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.